Guys, Brad Pitt needs your help. Brad Pitt needs your help, guys. He's in trouble and he needs you. You need to send Brad Pitt hundreds of thousands of dollars right now. He needs you, guys. You have to save Brad Pitt! Did it work? Did you do it? Did you send Brad Pitt money? Well, if you didn't, then congratulations. You just passed a test that this woman did not.
A 53-year-old French woman says these images, created with AI technology, scammed her into forking over $850,000 to someone she believed was an ill Brad.
Yeah, so long story short, this woman sent $850,000 to a scammer that she thought was an ill Brad, as the voiceover put it.
To someone she believed was an ill Brad.
It makes it sound like it's some kind of species of animal, some kind of common phenomenon. You know, she thought it was your classic ill Brad. No one can blame her for thinking so. We've all encountered one at some time or another. Now, I gotta be honest, all right? I feel like it's another use of AI in a situation where you don't need to put AI, because I feel like this has got to be just regular old-fashioned Photoshop. These photos like don't really even look good enough to be AI, quite frankly. I mean, this is just Brad Pitt photoshopped into a picture of a hospital room.
And a month later, the fake Brad started communicating with her himself, asking her to marry him, ditch her husband, and help him out with some medical bills.
What is that picture? This is Brad Pitt in surgery? Who took this picture? He set up like a timer right before he went under on his phone and was like, all right, time to take a picture. Came to 3 hours later. How did the surgery go? But more importantly, how did my picture turn out for my French girlfriend?
The woman, who was married to a millionaire at the time, ended up leaving her husband to pursue a relationship with the faux Brad.
I like that it says a millionaire at the time, because after sending fake Brad Pitt $850,000, maybe he is not a millionaire anymore. That's crazy. So she was married at the time, and fake Brad Pitt convinced her to leave her husband. Now look, this woman was scammed. She was taken advantage of. I'm not trying to make fun of her in this video. Obviously, she was going through something that made her believe this was true. It sucks to lose that much money, obviously. I am more so, quite honestly, in shock of the balls of this scammer to try to pull this off with these shitty ass Photoshops. These were the pictures he was sending her. It's like a different Brad Pitt in every photo too. How long was he in the hospital for? 15 years? You've got like, you know, silver fox Brad Pitt up here. You have like a younger but scared Brad Pitt here. This is just a picture of an arm with an IV in it. So that's not even, I mean, that could be anyone's arm.
At first, I said to myself that it was fake, that it's ridiculous.
It's interesting that she's like, at first I said to myself that it was fake, but then he must have done something to convince her, so I wonder what that was.
I've never harmed anyone. These people deserve hell. This comes months.
I don't like that they keep cutting to footage of the real Brad Pitt. I feel like this Entertainment Tonight video is trying to insinuate that the real Brad Pitt really did have something to do with this. They're like, and look at how smug he looks here in this video after pulling off the perfect crime. Actually, that would be kind of a sick plot twist if it like really was Brad Pitt and he was like, I was in love with you, and that really was me in the hospital looking drastically different in every photo. Like he's poorly photoshopping pictures of himself to throw the detectives off the trail, you know? They would never suspect the real Brad Pitt is scamming people. But you know, it could be true. You hear things like 50 Cent actually didn't make most of his money from his music career. He actually made it from his investment in vitamin water. Could be the same type of situation. Brad Pitt actually made most of his money from hospitalized Brad Pitt scams. If this story's taught me anything so far, it's that we could all do a little bit better managing our money. That's why I'm excited about today's sponsor, Rocket Money. One thing I've never been very good at is creating budgets and sticking to them, because I usually have just tried to do it all in my head before. I don't even know how to create a budget in the first place. I'm like, what is an appropriate amount of money to spend on food? Like $25 or maybe $7,000? I don't know. But luckily, Rocket Money is here to help. Rocket Money is an all-in-one finance app that helps you cancel subscriptions, lower your bills, and manage your money better. With regards to budgeting, Rocket Money automatically categorizes payments so you can see how much money you're spending within each category budget. So let's say you have an entertainment budget for the month. You can see if you're spending too much on entertainment, or if heck, you could go out for a movie or see a Broadway play. And if you are spending too much on one particular category, it's easy to cancel subscriptions through Rocket Money as well. Once you connect your bank account, Rocket Money identifies all of your recurring subscriptions, and you can just cancel them within the Rocket Money app with just a few taps. And it works. Rocket Money has helped save its customers up to $740 a year when you use all the app's premium features, and they've helped save customers over $500 million in canceled subscriptions. So go to rocketmoney.com/2Danny or click the link in the description to take control of your finances. You can get started for free and even unlock more features with premium. Thanks to Rocket Money for sponsoring this video, and now back to the video.
A rep for the actor telling ET in September, "It's awful that scammers take advantage of fans' strong connection with celebrities."
Strong connection. The representative's like, it's a shame that that scammer took advantage of Brad and this French woman's very real relationship. They had such a deep bond, and for the scammer to come in and ruin that, fucked up. Alright, so here's a Twitter thread about the situation. A French woman was scammed out of over $800,000 by someone pretending to be Brad Pitt. This we know. I can confirm that part. Scammer DM'd her on Instagram and convinced her with AI-generated videos and edited images. Oh, there's videos? I would like to see the videos. If this is how good the photos are, I would love to see the AI-generated videos. They just like rotoscoped him out of movies he was in and just plopped him on top of a PNG of a hospital. What movies is Brad Pitt been in? Fight Club? That was Brad Pitt, right? I'm so bad at pop culture. Brad Pitt movies. Oh, Happy Feet 2. That's where I know him from. Yeah, what if they cut out a picture of him from Happy Feet 2 and put him in a hospital? That'd be pretty funny. She realized it was fake when Brad Pitt was on the news with a new girlfriend. I like that that's the part that made her get wise to what's going on. She sees Brad Pitt in public, not in the hospital, clearly not suffering from any type of medical emergency, and she's like, wait a minute. You got a girlfriend. This is at least the third European who has been scammed by fraudsters pretending to be Brad Pitt in the past year. See? We can't make fun of the person who got scammed too hard because, look, it's apparently a lot more common than you would think. It could happen to you. Ever think of that? How sure are you that these aren't AI-generated videos right now? And that I'm not gonna ask you to send me $900,000. It might not even be real. So he convinced her that his bank accounts were locked because of his divorce with Angelina Jolie. I'm not super familiar with the process, but I don't think that's how divorce works. I know that there's usually some sort of divvying up of funds, but I don't think they're like, in Brad Pitt, no more bank for you, actually. As part of the divorce, she gets custody of the kids, she gets half of all you earn, you get to keep half in your bank, but no more bank. A French woman who was conned out of 830,000 euros by scammers posing as actor Brad Pitt has faced a huge wave of mockery, leading French broadcaster TF1 to withdraw a program about her. Yeah, that sucks. See, I am sort of laughing at the absurdity of the situation. I know I'm poking fun a little bit, but clearly someone in a very vulnerable place. I mean, elderly people, I know she's not elderly, she's 53, it says in the article, but people with different vulnerabilities, etc., get scammed all the time. It is sad, and we should never blame the person who's getting scammed. So, you have a right in this life to not get scammed by a fake Brad Pitt, okay? That's a reasonable expectation, and we should hope that for everybody. Netflix France put out a post on X advertising 4 films with Brad Pitt for real, while in a now deleted post, Toulouse FC, I don't know what that is, said, "Hi, Anne. Brad told us he would be at the stadium on Wednesday. And you?" The club has since apologized for the post. That's interesting that they keep posting things like this and then deleting them. It might be because they're sorry, or it might be because there really aren't 4 Brad Pitt films for real. Maybe Netflix was getting scammed too. Netflix is like, we thought we were getting 4 new films with Brad Pitt, but then we saw him doing a press tour for 4 different films for a different movie company. And that's when we got wise. At one point, quote unquote, Brad Pitt said he tried to send her luxury gifts, but that he was unable to pay customs on them. Okay, so he was unable to pay customs because his bank account was frozen, but I guess he already had the luxury gifts. They were personal luxury gifts he already had. So she sent him money so that he could pay customs so he could send her a gift. Like a fool, I paid. Every time I doubted him, he managed to dissipate my doubts, she said. Whoa! Okay, this is interesting, and this kind of speaks to how he was able to dissuade her suspicions. So when images appeared in gossip magazines showing the real Brad Pitt with his new girlfriend, awakening suspicions in Anne, the scammer sent her a fake news report in which the AI-generated anchor talked about Pitt's exclusive relationship with one special individual who goes by the name of Anne. So they created AI-generated news anchors as well. Man, life is gonna get so scary. You really gotta stay on your toes. You know what? I'm glad that I became a YouTuber before AI was a thing, because now you guys know I'm real.
I might not even be real.
And in a few years, when there's like AI YouTubers and shit, and we're not even sure who's real or not, you guys know, for better or for worse, this guy's real. That's a promise you can always count on. Slogan for my channel's like, look, he might not be that interesting, he might not even be that funny, his videos might not be very original, but he's real. He's real, and he needs you to send him $800,000. Okay, so this article is about Brad Pitt's rep speaking out on the awful love scam. Brad Pitt's rep has reacted to the viral story of a 53-year-old French woman who was swindled out of $850,000 by someone pretending to be the actor. So it says that the woman who was scammed said Brad Pitt really knew how to talk to women, which I guess is kind of like a compliment to the scammer, unfortunately. You know, you like to think of scammers as these sort of like scum of the earth, antisocial people in a basement, but to his credit, he had riz. He was charming, an absolute delight to talk to. He was evil. He was a cursed man. It was just a delight. Okay, so Brad Pitt's rep said, "This is an important reminder not to respond to unsolicited online messages, especially from actors who are not present on social networks." Now, on one hand, I'm kind of like, this response is kind of weird, because it's like, they say the thing about the strong bond between fans and celebrities, which is like, look, I know how much people love me, all right? I know that anyone would send me $800,000 on the drop of a dime because I was in the movie that we all love. Happy Feet 2. But you should not, all right? Especially because I'm not even on social media. The not on social media part, it kind of feels like they're covering their tracks because it actually was him scamming her. Do not send money to unsolicited messages, especially from actors who, quite frankly, don't even know how to use a computer. They don't know how to use Photoshop, and they're definitely not online, all right? I wonder, because it was a French woman, I wonder if he was speaking to her in French, too. To me, that would be a clue. Okay, here we have another article. Brad Pitt is not in love with you. Here's how to protect yourself and loved ones from AI scams. What if the article was like, Brad Pitt is not in love with you. He has assured me via messages he is only in love with me. And if you see him with other women, those are AI-generated posts. He's assured me I'm the only French woman for him. Sometimes families might not realize their loved one is being conned until it is too late, but oftentimes a sudden mood change in the victim is a subtle clue of this problem. The person is all of a sudden really happy because they found this love, and luckily you get to be the person to take that away from them. Do it. One of their tactics is that they'll frequently prepare the person for people in their life to call them a scammer. So when you tell your loved one they're in love with a con artist, it strengthens what the scammer said, which unfortunately builds some trust and likability. So fake Brad Pitt or, you know, whatever celebrity might message you, fake, what celebrities do my fans like? Fake celebrities are you guys into these days? Famous celebrity. Timothy Chalamet? Thinking way too long and hard about this. Bruno Mars. You guys are really into Bruno Mars, right? So Bruno Mars messages you and he's like, look, it really is me, and to prove I'm Bruno Mars and also how smart I am, everyone is gonna tell you that I'm a scammer. That way, when everybody says that's not Bruno Mars, it's a scammer, it makes it look more like Bruno Mars, and you're also like, damn, Bruno Mars is smart as hell. To spot AI-generated scams, pay attention to details. Notice when lighting and proportions in the selfies seem off. Pay attention to glitches in videos. I mean, unfortunately, these seem like things that I feel like a lot of people in my generation and younger instinctively do now. I worry about people just like a little bit older that cut off of like didn't grow up with any type of internet or social media and stuff. Their eyes are a little less keen on that sort of thing. Verify images and information you receive. In the example of Pitt, I like that we're calling him Pitt for short. For a second, I thought that I was reading an article about Pitbull and they were calling him Pitt for short. I was like, what am I reading again? Yeah, I'm on like a nickname basis with Pitbull. I just call him Pitt. It helps to know that he does not have any verified social media platforms. If you get messages suggesting otherwise, put on your detective hat. Compare the information the scammer is telling you to recent pictures, videos, and information being published. If they were at an award ceremony in Europe just recently, or they were on vacation somewhere, then it's likely they're not in the hospital for cancer treatment. Okay, that sounds, I feel like this person is actually being a little bit condescending by saying that. That's like the most self-explanatory quote ever. Now, if he's in Europe, on vacation, what does that mean? Does that mean he has cancer and he's in the hospital? Why don't you put on your little detective hat and figure it out? All right, well, moral of the story, be careful. And if one of your loved ones starts dating a celebrity via text only, you're gonna wanna nip that in the bud. Anyways, I gotta go. I'm about to go have lunch with Bruno Mars. We're meeting at this really secluded place and he asked me to bring a briefcase full of money, so I gotta go. Bye.